Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another episode of SnowFool here in City Skylines, where in the last few episodes, guys, we've been building up a brand new oil industry. We're getting to the point right now where it's making some money. I'm not actually sure how much money it's making, we're going to check it out in just a moment. But the problem we've now caused ourselves is we've created too many jobs. It's quite a unique problem to have, considering the city is not crashing and burning right now. But we have too many jobs for how many citizens are eligible to be employed. Which means, for the first time in a long time right now, we are actually in high demand with building some brand new residential areas. So there's not many places left I can squeeze in the main part of the city before we have to expand over the river where the actual airport is. So it's going to be quite exciting. If you are enjoying the series so far, boys, then please make sure you smash that like button down below. If you are new around here, make sure you do subscribe so you get notified when more episodes do come out. But we are back, baboon. So as you can see right now, the city is looking absolutely beautiful. There we go. Looking absolutely beautiful right now. The road layouts and networks, oh my goodness, be amazing. But there's very, very minimal spaces in which I can now expand. There's a little gap down here. There's a little bit just there. There's obviously all this little section over here. But that's probably as much as you want to do within this city before we then start to think about growing and expanding over on this side. Now, obviously, we built this industry over here in the last couple of episodes, which has provided quite a lot of jobs. I can have nearly 3,000 people working here, but only 1,000 people currently have a job. And when you check the unemployment, we have nearly 10,000 more jobs available than people to be employed. Ridiculous. So I need more residents. We're going to have to grow the population quite large to fill those jobs right now. But everything is running smoothly. Apart from the fact that I've just spotted, we got train jams? Wait, hold on. How far is this train jam going? Oh, just to here? Now, this is the problem I'm going to have. I've only got one export area here. It's making big cash. Holy smokes. Okay, that's a good problem to have, which also makes me worried to when we all, when we get all the people working here. It's a good problem to have. We're actually making big stonks right now, and we can't export as quick. I might need to place down a second exportation area, but we'll get onto that at a later date. Right, let's just forget about this for a moment. We'll come back to that at some point. But I want to focus on building some brand new residential areas. Now, I think what we'll do first is we'll finalize this area here because it also will then give me the ability to finalize the shorefront. Bringing this down, I might wrap it around this peninsula. The walkable quay wall. Anybody walking on this? There we go. Some peeps are walking on it right now. Finalize this area off and finish this off as well. I've got some really cool ideas to what I want to do with this before we fill in all the other little gaps. So, first things first then, what do I do first? The road network or the quay wall? I reckon we do the road network first. I'll put it all in pause. I'll get rid of these power lines. They can now go. So the only thing they should not be powering is this peninsula, just for the most part. And then we'll get our beautiful rural road set up. Now in this area here, I don't want it to be too gritty like what we've got right there. I might take some inspiration with all these little cul-de-sacs and then start creating a bunch of, I wouldn't say random cul-de-sacs, but I could start creating a bunch of random-ish or random-esque cul-de-sacs that then stick out in various kind of lengths and segments and orientations. And it will kind of create this unique kind of design on the go. I also reckon we should maybe come out with this one here. And then maybe bring this up. Let's go by 5 on this one. Is there a way that I can make these meet in the middle? 16 by 18? 16 by 16 is the perfect alignment there for a bend. Bringing you up there. Just to kind of fill that little bit of a dead gap in. And then create a few more little spiky cul-de-sacs to go in the many ways in which we've got. Which is I actually like this. It looks a bit weird right now, but I actually do like this. So bringing you out. Bringing you up to here. And then make these a little bit wider on the spacing. There we go. I can bring one in that way. One in down here. You down there. And a small one just here. So it looks quite unique. This one looks too uniform now, doesn't it? It does seem quite uniformish. I've created... It looks like a spine, doesn't it? In a weird way, it does look like a spine. And I kind of like that. I'll keep these three as it is. But that's a unique way to end this area. It's like it transitions into our peninsula really, really well, doesn't it? Weirdly, I like that. And I'm going to roll with it. I'm going to roll with it. Now, in terms of the key wall, we know we're 10 away. But then we've got to do some awkwardness around here. And we've got to choose where we're going to end it as well. So, do I incorporate this? Let's see what it would look like if I incorporated the peninsula. So, if I came... So, 1, 2, 3, 4. What does 4 look like if I came 4 away? It will make it slightly wider, but it will also allow me to kind of place a little bit of a path so we can utilize this. And if I went 1, 2, 3, 4 as well. If I went all the way to the end then, or at least to here, I just want to see what it looks like. So obviously I've got to terraform it a little bit better. Is 4 too much? I feel like 4 might be too much. Right, instead of 4, what if I just do 2? So, hang on. 1, 2, 3. How do I do that again now? 1, 2, 3. How does 3 look? In comparison? I reckon we could get away with a 2. So, 1, 2. As short as that is, let me see what this looks like. That works, but you don't get the path connecting to it. So I'll have to manually do this myself. Which that is going to be very difficult to do. Because of the snapping. No, I need the anarchy on. Let me get rid of all of these. Yeah, you can't get the snapping in very well, can you? Not really. But I could run down... No, that's just being ridiculous now, isn't it? That is just being ridiculous. So, if I can't do 2, can I snap in a path? Okay, you can snap in a path there. But not perfectly. I'm just seeing where the snapping's all happening. Can I move this? Oh. Okay. So for design purposes, I feel like the 4's a bit wide, but then again, I can trim some trees going along down it, couldn't I? I could trim some trees. So I reckon we commit to the 4. Because I can also get... So 1, 2, 3, 4. I can also get the path going alongside of it. Now this will be interesting as well. This bend. How does this bend now take place? So there to there, all the way over is a 22. So I'm doing an 11 by 11 bend, aren't I? 11 by an 11. 11 by an 11. Now that's going to look really, really good when we've got the unique building on the end of that little peninsula. That will look really, really good. Now, I know the edging's going to be a bit funky. So we're going to have to try and run some smooth... Well, at least some edging down. Like that. You're still going to get the little trim border anyway when you zoom out. But that should now allow me, and this will be the painstaking task. I don't know if I should do it on every single segment. But like if I started here, I went bam, it doesn't connect, obviously. But if I then left a 2 gap, then what we'll have to do is bring it in like this ourselves. So if I didn't do it on every single one, and I kept the gap going, where do I end up? Oh, so I end up to here, which is actually perfect. Okay, okay. So there to there. I'll fine tune all this in just a moment. We'll fine tune it all. So not every single one, only certain ones, and we'll place a load of trees down. We've just got to figure out all of this then. So how do we get this to connect to there is the big question. So I know we're doing 10 spaced away. But that in itself is going to be quite difficult. Right, if I do a 5 there, just to match that, I then should have the ability to bend this down there to there. And then there's a little bit of a straight bit here I can utilize. Okay, maybe not so much. Wait, am I underground? Oi, mate, get me out of underground mode. Right, if I went here, so that bent round, and then that runs into there. I've got to trim all that off, which will be completely easy to do. Bringing you up to just here. Haha! So a nice little bend. That works out fairly well. Now, I've got to try and assign the same logic to all of this. Now, this is going to be a little bit difficult as well. Because the 10 might be a bit too much. So if I just run it like that to there. And then run you just to there to fill the gaps. And then I'll use the connection tool for the rest. Let's be super lazy. So get a little bit of a bend on the go. Very good. There to there. A little bit of a bend on a go. As it all wiggles through this little peninsula now. Wiggles all the way through. So I'll leave it for that for now, just so I know what I'm working with. And then we'll do some terraining real quick. So we've got this little shelf that we've got it all kind of leveled off to. So if I just quickly mimic that for the most part. And then smooth it all off. Like this. Even on the inside as well, smoothing it all off. La-di-da, there we go. Right, this could work out fairly. That is a nice way to trim it off, isn't it? I really do like that. So we'll probably cause some flooding right now. We're kind of going back into it. But now we've done all this with the path. Let's just quickly loosely get these connected. So we can actually utilize the key wall because it's walkable. And then we'll just do this for now. We'll plant some trees down in the little gaps either side to kind of fill it all up. Make it a lot nicer. And then we just need one here as well. So the path. Get you all connected. There we go, there we go. Glorious. We've got to apply the same logic to some of this then. Where this is going to need the connections. Now these should be fairly easy to do. One there. Can we connect here? Yeah. And then is it possible to connect here? To go to this one. Almost is the answer. Right, you can't really win on that, but oh, there we go. So connections from all angles, perfect. You won't even notice it. Now we do have a tram stop just here. I'm wondering if it makes sense to kind of lead a little walkway all the way down to the tram stop. I reckon that's what we'll do here then. So I'll put it on this section there. A little crossing. There we go. And then every node here we place down right now should add its own little crossing in. And... oh yeah, I'll only go to there. I won't take it too far. I won't take it too far. That connects. There to there. To there. And that's as far as I'm taking that little bit there. Holy moly, this is going to be really good. I'm actually quite excited to see how this now all comes together. So we've got to do some zoning, but before we do, we also probably need to do some waterworks, right? Okay, maybe just a little bit. Just a little bit of water. 22 straight up. And we'll just cover it just there. For this, we just push this one up a bit further. This one up to there. You up to there. Yeah, that's all good. That's all good. And then we need to zone it all. So we'll start with the commercial first. That's the easiest one to go with. So commercial should be within the commercial area, so to say. So a nice little commercial section ending off that. We'll fill this bit up here with commercial. Nice little buffer zone. And since we've got the train station here, we'll fill this little section up just there, leading down to there. And we'll leave that as commercial there. I reckon that's all the commercial we'll need for now. So fill this up with residential. There we go. And then I've got to paint this whole area here now. So let's do this one side of the road. There we go. Do all this intersection. All the way down. Oh, bit of lag, mate. Right, all the way through, and then we can press play. Now, it will take a while for it to all grow over. Obviously, it will take a little bit of a while. So the peninsula that we've now removed the power from might struggle. It might struggle for a little bit. Right, I think I've got all the coverage there. So that will struggle until the growth has all kind of taken place. But with the demands that we got, hopefully it will be enough. So let's fast forward then. Yeah, there was always going to be flooding, boys. There was always going to be flooding, right? And then once the flooding's kind of settled down, we'll then do all the trees just to kind of finalize this area. But this is going to look so good when it's done. It is going to look really, really good. So while that kind of just settles down slightly, we'll take a quick look at this area as well. So in terms of zoning, I'm just going to see how it all looks. Now I reckon we do a little bit of high density in this little section to kind of end it all off. So we'll go for a bit of high density commercial leading down here. And there's not much room here to do many things with it all. So high density commercial there. So we try and create a few little tallish buildings. Very good, very good, very good. Because we have all like the university, we have the big sports stadium. It makes sense to have quite a bit of high density. Or I say not high density commercial, but it makes sense to have a little bit of commercial thrown within this area. And then some high density residential then as well. Now I don't know how this is going to work because we're going to awkwardly do alignments like how we've done here. Because that there is a 6 and then that there is a 10 and it's all over the place and it's a little bit awkward. But I'm wondering if I can try and match them up. So if that's a 10, that's a 10. I'm wondering if it's possible, if I brought this out by a 5, to get this which will come down like that. I'm just wondering if I can kind of get these to come together. Because I don't need to do a perfect grid format. We've learned that in the past elsewhere. 14 by 14. I'll go with that spirally road. That's quite nice. That's quite nice. And then we'll try our best right now to connect. So we'll do a coming out by a 5 just there. And I'll bring that up to here. Is there room here for a connection? At a 3 by 3? There slightly is. And then if I did the same thing somewhere here, what we say, just there. Come out by a 5. Oh no, okay, this is not going to work out the way I wanted it to. Alright, we come out here. And if I come out just there. Now, these are slightly staggered. They're slightly staggered. So it gives us a little bit of detail in this road network layout. Like that. So you get these like awkward little bowing out sections. Which adds to the creative freedom that we've got with building this area. Right, here should be your standard. Right, we should have bent that straight in. Bam, straight in. And then take something directly from maybe down here. But I reckon we go on a slight, I wouldn't say slight diagonal. But we do that. And pretty much the same again. Sweet connections. So look at that right now. That kind of creates like a nice little wavy kind of gridded format. It's a grid, but it's wavy. And that's going to be pretty cool to kind of build upon. Right, did these guys eventually connect? No. Oh my god. Okay, so that high demand that I have wasn't actually quite a lot of demand. Believe it or not. Do we need schools? We need elementary schools, right? Not really, but I'm going to squeeze an elementary school just in. So I'm going to squeeze a few little bits and bobs in right now to hopefully try and grow the power supply in a weird way. So what about police stations? We have one over there. We're squeezing in over here as well. We'll kind of fill some of these little dead spots. Right, I'll go here with the police station. We'll do a little firehouse, fire station, like that. And we'll do a little bit of a medical clinic as well. So I'll place those all within this little area. It's going to create one building and one building there, and then bridge the difference, and then they've all got power. That's what we're hoping for anyway. That's what we're hoping for. So it provides a few more little services here and there. But maybe I shouldn't have put down all of this commercial over here, because now all of a sudden I've run out of demand. But then again, it's residential demand that I kind of need at this point. Okay, that's fine, that's fine. Let it do what it's got to do. I'm quite excited to fill this little area up as well. So while they all fight over who gets whose demands, let's take a look at this area next as well. Now, we also, and we've kind of missed it on this section here, having the overpass go over, because that's what we do when we come to a big junction. Because normally you would have a roundabout here, but we don't have it on that one. And then we got the underpasses, but because this is up over the train line, I have to create overpasses. So the same thing has to then kind of work with this. Now, I can't do it there, but there's going to be no entry point in here, and there's not going to be much needed for it. But I can definitely do an overpass here, which will help us out. So, where does that connect to? So that will connect to here, which makes that then a fully fledged 30 in length all the way over. So if I raise this up, and I have to raise it up by a, what do you reckon, a 12? Is 12 enough? Maybe a 15 in reality. So raise you up as well. There we go, just to get them up and over. Because you've got to go over that road as well, which is a little bit more difficult. Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. And now we get this area to pretty much work with. So, how are we building this now? There is definitely a space here to go for one more. So if I went your 30 marker there, but then here did a 10 by 10 bend. And then straight in, because I can trim this slightly back with the key walling that we're going to be doing, but it ends the area there quite nice. And then we've got this space here to work with, which there's not really a connection anyway, so that works out for us as well. Go up by a 20, but here we might have a few overpasses that go over to this area for the highway. So that's something that we also have to think about too. Now that should be a 10 away there. What's this length down to here is a 29. So you're going to lose out one somewhere. We're going to lose out one somewhere. So bringing this up by a 20 and in. So this one, we could go for the fully fledged 30. And then connect down. Yeah. The awkward thing is with this, it's not quite in a line with that overpass just there. But that's okay, because we can make it a line over. Because we only got to do a slight little wiggle anyway. So I could like literally bring this out by a 5 and you're going to get the slightest of little wiggles encroaching over. So I'm going to assume that is straight up. So that there. Do I want a connection there? I mean, we'll bring this all the way down here. Which will... Oh, hold on. Bring you directly into there. So the overpass there, that's an 8, 11. So you're looking at a 19 is the distance. But then that becomes a 9 to there. Maybe we shouldn't do it like that. Alright, delete you. Alright, your 10 marker. And I'll bring that just to there for a second. So that's up and over. It's not perfect, and it's got to be a little bit higher. Alright, let me get it more centered. And then raise it up. There we go. There we go. Right, that's all in. So that's your little overpass there. We've got one there. Obviously, the more we have, the more efficient the traffic can be in crossing. To be honest with you, we don't really have to have one here. Because we've got these. But every little helps. You know what I mean? Every little helps at this point. So if we created... Well, am I something to move it to right now? Yeah. So if I went over like this. And then back to normal here now. And then this is where the funsies now happen. Because it doesn't really perfectly align. It doesn't have to. But if we drop a node here. Smack bang in the middle. The move it tool. Slightly bend like that. And then you I mean, you can notice it. It's not. I'm not saying you can't notice it, but it just makes it a little bit better rather than like a diagonal road. Very good, very good, very good. And you won't notice it when I got all the buildings on anyway. So there we go, nice and sweet. I reckon I might delete this section. Wait, if I delete that road, this can be a little bit more awkward. Because I can bring it your 10 marker to here, and then this is elevated over. And then we should have a node in the middle, so that could bend. And then that can bend. So we bend the bridge and still keep our marker points. We'll go with that. We'll go with that. Right, no, I didn't realize I've paused the game. So that kind of covers all this a little bit more. And then obviously with our trees and stuff, bring this down. And then do I need to? I need the strength. No, actually the strength is okay like that. So we'll just cover this in here with the trees. And then we've got to fill in all the gaps going down here too. So a lot of these trees will get deleted as the buildings get built. And, oh, I've killed off this whole peninsula as well. Look at it. So once it all grows back, boys, it will all look good. It will all look good. So even with how it looks right now, even though it's all purely tree at the minute, because we've got so many of the buildings get oofed. Oof. Oof, 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 oof. This is how it is, unfortunately. This is how it is. Oh, do we need to put water over here? Am I missing water? Oh, I really am. Okay, spread this down. It's a shame the demands weren't as big as they seem to be. It is weird, isn't it? Not as big as they seem to be. Now, we've got some more commercial demand, which I think I'm going to squeeze some high density in this little triangle here. Fill that little gap up. And I reckon we could do some low density commercial around here, around the this side of the stadium. So try and spend that commercial demand, because it then should then grow the residential demand, and it then should all fill in the little gaps and whatnot. Oh, is there any commercial I can throw in here? We got some commercial there. So pause. Alright, delete all them power lines there. I'm going to delete this back to here, and I'll replace them back in if I need them in just a moment. So, right, this is interesting right now with these buildings there. We'll go right to here. And then we'll just go to there with them. Like that. That's where we run the commercial here. Alright, water directly up. And then what's not being powered now? Wow. Okay, so that power strip there literally connects that whole one side of the city. Right, that should be fine now. We're back up and running. Back up and running. And then it should now all come back to us then. So we're going to keep spending that commercial demand, and it will slightly come back, and we'll spend a bit more. But in doing so, it should now start to spend the residential demand, which will then fill up all the little nooks and crannies. But I don't really have much space left at this point. I don't really have much space left for residential stuff. I mean, we've got this little section over here. We've got this little bit, but some of this is also going to be industrial as well. So I am borderline ready to start building on the other side of the river. I really am. We're going to build over here, complain about not enough raw materials, boy. Right, we still got the traffic issues over here? We do. So while we wait for them demands to be spent, is there anything I can do here now to alleviate the pressures on the cargo ships? Because they're just pumping out and pumping out and pumping out and pumping out. We make good cash. We're making 80,000 right now, but it obviously depends on how much you're pumping out. Trains are coming down. Trains are backlogged. I say backlogged. They go quite far because, again, like I said, we've only got really one way to import and export it. So I've got a couple of options here. I could either place down another train line. I can actually build it here and link it directly into these guys. Or my other option is I could build a little bit of a harbour down here. But then it would make these kind of slightly void. Or I build another harbour down here. Or I build the one that doesn't use trains and uses vehicles. And that's a way in which we can slightly soften the blow. Now, that kind of harbour is this one. But I would need space for the vehicles, which I could put here on this side. It's not a problem. I could put there. I could put on the very end. I could put anywhere I wanted to, but it doesn't use trains. Now, would that mean less trains go to these? I don't know. I don't truly know, but if I place another one down, they might start using the other one over this one. So then you kind of still semi-lose out to a certain point. But obviously we can't export or move enough is the basic issue right now. We can't move enough. So I reckon it might be ideal to have something at the opposite end to really split the differences. Now, if I did that, this is where your problem then also lies. With how these kind of come to a natural end. So then maybe I need it over here. So I could build another harbour. That kind of sticks out there. Where we can have a road coming in to loop back as well. A little V there in. See, that works. Right, let's see what it would look like if I did something like that. So, let's see. So if this didn't go up that way, and what this actually did is it came across by, let's just do 10 more. Bringing this down to, and I won't make it go that far. We'll go 50. 50, I'll do a 20 by a 20. So that 20 is there. Then we do another 20. All the way up to here, which will be a 70. But I'm going to lead it all the way up. 20. And end it just there. So that creates a whole new harbour on this side, which is something that we really, really do need by the looks of it. So let me select all of this. Oh, hang on. No roads. No roads. There we go. Right, perfect. Make it the object height of, you know, one of these randomly, which is there. Perfect. Sweet, sweet, sweet. We'll have to invert a bunch of these segments, and we're going to cause some flooding. But, you know, no issues there, mate. No issues there. And we'll just very loosely get this all created. Because if I can then, basically then I can export twice as much, and by that logic you can then make twice as much money. But I don't like the backlogging though, because it is hindering what we're able to do. It really is hindering that ability. So we're now going to invert the segments that need to be inverted. There we go. That's now all done. And hopefully this water will submerge itself ever so slightly. And it is slightly staggered back as well, so it kind of like feels like this over here, which is really good. Now, shipping routes. We got to bring a shipping route in. That's a ferry pathway. Shipping route. So that would come down here. And I'll get it connected to the same point. Making my life easy. Right, bringing you just to there. Now, in reality, all we really want to do is mimic what we've currently got set up. Because that works over there perfectly well. And we want to do the same thing here too. Now, what we'll do with the train line for this is we'll bring it out and we'll try and get a V connection around here somewhere. And lead this all in. I've caused maximum flooding. I don't know if they use the vehicles that much to warrant a roundabout. I don't know. But I'll delete that connection because we'll add our own in, is what we'll do. We'll add our own in. So, what road did we use? We've got the, is it like a highway road? I believe it is, isn't it? Like, or no, is it the double rural road? Could be that as well. Right, okay, normal styly. And with this, I went the 10 away, didn't I? So 10 away to there, bringing this down. And was there any difference in this? So if that's the middle. There. Yep, that's how we did it. So, and that then is a 10. So you're looking at a 5 by 5. That's probably too close, that. So I'll do a... So that's really a 7 then. 5 by 5, 5 by 5. And boom. Right. What's the bend here saying? A 3 by 3? Well, that's going to be a little bit difficult to squeeze in. We'll go back by this. 6 by 6 directly in. Six by six on that bend, straight up. And then we'll unhook the road. Upgrade it to this style of road. And then we just pretty much got to bring it all in together. So we'll utilize... Do I do something similar to that one? Why not? Why diddly not? So that is center. So that would go here. But I could make this kind of come out there if I then was to go ahead and do said bend. So yeah, and you're looking at a 5 by 5 on the bend. Straight in. Delete you to there. So it's a little bit different to the other one I did. But it will still do the same job. It will still do the same job. So if I could bend... Oh no, let me undo that. They got... No, they haven't got any nodes in. So add a node on each one. Slightly bend. Like that. It will do the job. It will honestly do the job. Power-wise... Where did I put the wind turbine on this one? Oh no, I didn't do one. So bring you out and then connect you straight down. And then obviously I need to connect the train line up. So all the way into here. So in a straightish line, as straight as you can get it. We'll raise you up to first 8. Which is a reasonable angle. And ideally, it would be nice to get it like here somewhere. Right, we'll attempt the bend going in, but let me see what this would bring us. So you're 21. Okay, this is going to be a lot more difficult. I reckon what we should do is you'll have to kind of bring it out to bring it in. And I can bring it up this way. So there is a 21. There is not so much a 21, but I'll get away with that. So bringing this in with your bend. Now this has got 2 nodes. So bring these both... Oh, no, wrong button. Both in like this. Bend. Bend. So that one side's not exactly a 21, but it's what I've got to do, unfortunately. It's what your boy's got to do. Connection there to the... What have I done then? Oh, I've just unhooked them. I didn't mean to unhook them. I thought I was using the connection tool. There to here. So try and go quite reasonable on this. Which I reckon that there works. And making sure that it's high enough. Which it is. And I'm going to trim the power lines. And get a little bit of a... I'm going to throw a wind turbine down. No, it doesn't quite connect, but I can do a small little power line just here. There we go. So that now connects this all up. Now, by doing that, all of a sudden, the train traffic has died down. Have I done it too soon? I don't know. I don't know. But we can now access it by both ways, and we can now do double exports going out. So it can only be beneficial. It can only, in reality, be beneficial for us. So that's why I'm not too bothered by it. Alright, trim all this edging off. And then leave it as that. There we go. So, should do the job. We'll have to give it time for it to all circulate. But now all of a sudden, we're not really exporting that much. But there is a couple of trains on their way down anyway. We're getting a few vehicles using this. Worst case scenario, I have to stick a roundabout here. That's not a problem. That will not be a problem. Ships are being produced by this as well. So when I see trains going in here, I know we're going to be okay. We're all Gucci then. But this gives us alternatives, doesn't it? That's the main thing. It gives us shipping alternatives. And that's all we can really ask for at that point. It's all we can ask for at that point. So it's all good, mate. It's all good. And there we go. Our first train coming in. Perfect. Double exports. Now, how have we got over here then? I know it's still taking a little bit of a while for it to all grow back. There's a lot of trees there, which they will be replaced by buildings eventually. Now, I've still got a commercial demand. Having the commercial demand is counterintuitive for me because even though I got the demand, it creates more jobs. I can't fill the jobs. You know what I mean? It's weird. It is really, really weird. But this demand means I can spend it. So where would be a good idea for some more commercial? It does seem quite, I wouldn't say dead, but we could definitely squeeze some along here. It's very, very heavily residential in this slight little area. That should spend some of those little bit of demands that we have. We should hopefully grow a little bit more residential. So a lot more trains coming in this way. So I think these guys over here are more likely to use this station. Because obviously it is a lot closer for them. Now I'm not saying it's would have had an impact already, but I am exporting a weekly profit of 42,000 big ones. So that's gone to plan. So I don't need to worry too much now about kind of expanding. But how is the ferry line here? Let me view my lines. Is it too busy? Can we transport enough? There's 64 people waiting on this one here. I reckon we could do with having a second boat on this. Just to kind of help us out. So it's not a case of the capacity, it's more of the frequency in which we can transport people. That's mainly what it is. It's more of the frequency in transports, which is more important. Yes. Very good. Very good, boys. Very good. Right. The exports are working. Couldn't be any happier. This is all slowly growing as well. Still got ridiculous amounts of commercial demand. Still got ridiculous amounts of commercial demand right now. I don't know whether to kind of switch some of this out to high density at this point. I'm gonna. We'll switch all of this out here to high density. As soon as demand is slightly building up. And see how we get on with that. Not too much because it will cause problems for the low density residential. But yeah, that should spend them demands. Okay. Okay. So are they now walking on this, by the way? Yes. You can now see them walking. Which is glorious. Oh, man. It would be so cool to walk along this with the water on the side. Like, to do it in real life. It'd be pretty cool. But it also makes, if you are here, I wanted to get over to there. You just walk along this and get here. It makes the tram line so much easier to approach right now from that angle. It looks really, really good, doesn't it? I think it's a great way to kind of end these little peninsulas. And look at this. The area's looking so built up now, doesn't it? It looks so built up. We are coming to the end of being able to kind of progress with this peninsula. And then those expansions across the river by the airport then begin. But guys, we'll end it for here. I don't think there's anything I can do right now to increase my residential demand, apart from keep placing down commercial. But we'll leave it for now. I hope you did enjoy this. If you did, smash that like button down below. And until next time, I'll see you all soon. So, goodbye.